Yo, it's your boy Maciano, and I am the brain, the creative, the guy behind Kaizen Camera, which is a Substack profile that I created for multiple reasons. The primary reason is because I have this delusion, I have this dream. Literally, like when people used to ask me growing up, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? My answer was always to be a father. I've always admired and viewed people who stand on business as dads as like the flyest people you could ever imagine. Like people who really do what's necessary to provide, protect, and preach to their children and to the people that come after them. And not even just only their children, but to people around them. Like people who really take leadership very, very seriously have always been the type of people that I admired. So growing up, I've always wanted to be a father. That's primary one. That's primary reason number one. The second reason I would say is because when I went to college, I played college football at Tiffin University, a private school in Ohio. And then I also played football at St. Xavier University for my last 2 years, a private school here in Chicago. And I always tell people that I went to Tiffin. Like if you ask me what college I went to, I always say I went to Tiffin because Tiffin was where I developed and grew up as a young man. That's where I matured myself. And on our football team, we were really, really good. We were number 2 in the country. We won back-to-back championships. I played with some amazing guys. Some of the guys went on and played in the NFL, some other different professional leagues. Some of them are still playing in professional leagues. And a lot of very, very notable coaches. And we had this coach who came in when I was a sophomore, and his name was Chris Reiser. And shout out to Chris Reiser. Shout out to Coach Reiser. Sending my love to him and his family, knowing that they're doing well, seeing all of the things he's accomplishing now. And it's amazing because I remember when he came to Tiffin and he put a full-blown culture change over our program. And in football, you know, it's a very disciplined sport. It's a very strategic sport. You have to be an intellect in your own right to even be good at football. Like football isn't like, I think basketball is a game where I'm a hooper as well. You feel me? Like I always say that I'm better at basketball than I am at football. And the reason being is because it's a game where you roll the ball out and you go. Football isn't a game like that. It's a game where all 11 players need to be on the exact same page if they want to execute and win anything. If everybody's not on the same page, then you can't win anything. And he showed us what a championship caliber team talks about, walks about, thinks about, practices like, all of the things. And I remember our first like couple interactions with Coach Reiser, he used to always preach this word over us, Kaizen. Kaizen, Kaizen, Kaizen. And Kaizen from Chris Reiser, from Coach Reiser, meant continual improvement, relentless improvement, day by day, making sure that you get better and better, never ever settling for a day and not taking steps forward in that day, like never taking a day for granted, never going into a workout and looking at the clock waiting for it to be over. Like it was a lot of mindset training that came with Coach Reiser. And that was the top priority in every single one of our days in a sport. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times in sports, you know, there's not no real teaching going on. There's a lot of, hey, let's go play and let's figure out what we can do to win the game. But there's not no real, like, let me teach y'all how to be young men. Let me teach y'all how to orient yourself in the world. Let me tell y'all how to be better leaders. Let me tell y'all how to lead by example. And that was his philosophy. In that, with Coach Reiser, that was the first time I won a championship. That was my first ring. And actually, I'm going to go show y'all my rings. Show y'all that I ain't joking. By the way, this is Cobra. But, this is my ring box, and this was the first ring that I won under Coach Reiser. Tiffin University, as you can see, Showtime, Mason Gray, number 16. And this is one of my prized possessions. I have 2 more here. I actually went 4 for 4 and won 4 championships, but I only got 3 rings. And the reason why I did not get that 4th ring is going to be more than likely an article that I'll drop on Substack when the time is right. But I'm a champion. You feel me? I'm a champion nonetheless. And the main thing that he would always preach to us is Kaizen, Kaizen, Kaizen. And that word means the world to me. You feel me? That philosophy, that concept means the absolute world to me because that was my first interaction with truly feeling like a champion, truly feeling like the best, like truly feeling like me and this group of guys, we good no matter what. We got each other's back and we all on the same page. And that's literally what I feel like is necessary to win and be successful in anything. So that's a secondary reason behind why I started the Substack. And then the third reason is to build my case, you know, as an educator. You know, I want for my next professional endeavor to be education, for me to become a subject matter expert in whatever it is I'm a subject matter expert in, and run with it and teach people and fill some of the gaps that I find in the education system, and be, you know, the culture change, spearhead that culture change for the ones who look up to me as an influence and look at me as someone who's inspiring and someone who they truly believe they can get behind. And it starts with the message. It starts with having something thorough, something thought out to talk about. So, boom, the birth of a concept. One of the recent listens, I'd say, since I listened to the audio version of it, was Marcus Aurelius' Lessons from a Stoic. And I felt like it was brilliant. It felt like Marcus Aurelius was talking to a specific person, a specific recipient for the messages that he was preaching. And when I was listening to it, it felt like Marcus Aurelius was speaking from a standpoint of no ego, not thinking about himself, not trying to praise himself, but more so teaching someone as if it was his child. So that's why I'm doing Kaizen Cameron, Letters to My Future Son. I want me to have a digital diary of lessons and teachings and thought processes that my son will be able to read and digest. And as a byproduct, if anybody else stumbles across the Substack page, I hope that the messages that I would teach my son also resonates with them as well. So that's just kind of the idea and the premise behind why I started the channel. And now what I'll do is I'll read exactly what that first article was. And you'll be able to hear it in my voice, the tone that I had when I was writing it. And then I'll leave everything else up to y'all. And I hope that y'all continue to tune in, continue to rock with the posts that I drop. I'll always do a drop. So I'll do an essay, and then I'll come on and then I'll speak to some of the things that I wrote about. And that's kind of the way that I'll format this page. So we got here Kaizen, Letters to My Future Son. Dropped this on December 19th at 11:53 a.m. And this is what it says. Here we go. Why I'm writing these letters. You don't exist yet. I know your name, but not your voice or the way you'll see the world. I don't know when you'll arrive or what kind of questions you'll ask me when you do, but I do know this. The man I am when you're born will matter more than anything I say to you later. So I'm writing now. These are letters to you, but they're also a discipline for me, a way of becoming before teaching, a way of holding myself to a standard long before I'm responsible for shaping someone else's life. Most of life is lived in between seasons, before the promotion, before the marriage, before the children, and it's tempting to wait, to tell yourself you'll get serious later when the moment arrives. Improvement doesn't work that way. What we pass down isn't what we intend, it's what we practice. And that's where your name comes from. So, when we think about leading by example, I've always been someone who I feel like it makes the most sense for me to do what it is I'm expecting you to do. Right. And that's where one of my more viral videos come from. You know, the definition of disappointment is expecting yourself from other people, because a lot of times I'm putting forth a good example. I'm practicing what it is that I'm preaching to you, preaching something that I want to see you start practicing. You know what I'm saying? Something that I want to see you start implementing in your life, or a way that I want you to start treating me. I'm doing it firsthand, and I'm doing it, and I'm hoping that you can see it, pick up on it, and then do the same. You know what I'm saying? I believe that every relationship should be reciprocal in a way. And in that, disappointment lives, right? Because me expecting you to do what it is that I'm doing is very, very unfair to you. But the way leadership works is you're bound to rub people wrong. So sometimes the best things that you can do as a leader is just put on a good example and hope that the authentic audience, the ones who's really, really for you, really subscribe to what it is that you're up to, really inspired by what you do and view you as an influence, they fall in line. And that's what one of my next drops will be about, is more so like servant leadership, doing the thing first. And yeah, improvement isn't just words. It isn't just, praying on things and manifesting things. It's coming in contact with those things. It's actually putting your boots on the ground and actually doing the work. And I feel like for me, the best possible way for Kaizen to receive all of these teachings is for me to have actually lived through these things that I'm trying to teach, actually experienced these things that I'm trying to teach, and actually pulled out the teaching points from these things that I went through. And that's where his name comes from, right? The improvement that I'm working on in my life, the improvement that I'm having in my life will directly impact him by what he just sits and watches me do. So I'm going to lead by example for him, right? That's where his name comes from. Finishing on, Kaizen is often described as continual improvement, but to me it means something more demanding. Relentless improvement when no one is watching, applauding, or depending on you yet. It's choosing discipline without urgency, growth without performance, direction without pretending you've arrived. I'm only 25 as I write this, but I've already lived enough lives to understand how quickly momentum can lie to you. I've chased things that look right from the outside and felt wrong once I arrived. I've moved fast, trusted my instincts too much at times, ignored quicker warnings I wish I had listened to. I've seen what comes from shortcuts, from pride, from thinking I was ahead of my time instead of simply ahead of my maturity. I've done a lot, and I've watched how every one of those decisions turned out. Some of those experiences I carry are things I hope you never have to learn firsthand. Not because struggle is bad, but because unnecessary struggle leaves scars that don't always show. There are lessons that cost more than they're worth when learned the hard way. Pain can teach, yes, but wisdom, when listened to early, can spare you years. It's like, I believe a failure as a parent is watching your children go through the exact same things that you did. Because what did you learn and what did you do to steer them away from the same evil that you encountered? And that's my goal as a parent. Is I come from the hood. You know what I'm saying? I come from the hood. I've had my encounters in the streets. I done did some street shit. I done did some shit that I'm not proud of. I done seen a lot of things that I wish I never saw. I done had conversations that didn't do me any justice. I done made bad business moves. I done made bad relationship moves. I done a lot of different things in this life. And I've always held myself accountable for the role that I played in those experiences. And in that, I'm pulling out the accountability piece from each one of those experiences, because all of those experiences aren't 100% my fault, but I can only own what it is that I own. And I plan on doing that. So when my son is in those same positions, he has some wisdom to be able to make an informed decision. Now, mind you, right? When we look at the Bible is a book of thought processes. It's probably the most profound thought process ever. That's the way that I view it. I don't always view it as a spiritual text. It is a spiritual text, respectfully. I just sometimes look at it as like, man, I love receiving this as the best possible way to be thinking. And in that, it shows a lot of the things that we should and should not be doing. It shows a lot of the decisions that some of the disciples made and where it put them, right? Yet a conviction is a real thing. We won't go forward with what it is the Lord is trying to teach us unless we're convinced by it. So I'm not 100% sure that Kaizen will be convinced on the things that I'm trying to teach him. But I want to make sure that he has the information. So that way, if he does encounter a situation, he's not misinformed. And if he makes a decision and he's informed in that decision, whatever the consequence is, we'll live with it. And then that'll be a part of his story and a part of his trauma and a part of his experience and a part of something that he can teach to the people that come after him. So, yeah, that's the aim, is to never let anybody who comes after me experience anything that I've been through. Continuing on. If there's one thing I hope you understand one day, it's this. When I tell you not to do something, it won't be because I don't believe in you. It will be because I already tried it and I stayed long enough to see where it leads. I've learned that being early doesn't mean being ready. That confidence without character eventually collapses. That success without structure is unstable. That discipline, when delayed, always collects interest. In this season of my life, I'm still learning, still ambitious, still practicing faith, restraint, and consistency. If I'm being real, I'm even still taking losses. I don't have everything figured out, and I don't need to. What I need is movement in the right direction, elongated strides in an intended direction, small agreements kept daily, integrity in moments that feel small now but won't be later. Kaizen. Getting better every single day is the primary focus. These letters are where I document that work. They're reminders to slow down when speed feels seductive, to listen instead of proving, to choose patience when ego wants recognition, to remember that the man I'm becoming for you matters more than the man I can impress today. Some of these letters will be lessons learned the hard way. Some will be questions I'm still sitting with. Some will be quiet warnings written to myself so that one day when I speak them to you, they carry weight. This space, Kaizen, isn't about perfection. It's about preparation. Because one day, if God allows, you'll be watching how I live long before you listen to what I say. You'll study my habits, my tone, my restraint. You'll learn what matters by what I protect and what I walk away from. And I want to be worthy of that attention. Until then, I'll keep improving. Relentlessly, continually, for you, my dearest one. Oh, I got a comment. It says, thoroughly enjoyed this and the concept in general. Definitely inspired me to start letters of my own. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's the goal. That's the goal right there. You see that? You see that? I got my first comment on my post, on my Substack post, and it says, thoroughly enjoyed this and the concept in general. Definitely inspired me to start letters of my own. Fire. Absolutely. Start writing letters to your future. Start writing letters to your future. Because, I ain't gonna lie, I got a box in the corner right now, and that box has a bunch of completed journals, a bunch of books that I read and highlighted all through, a bunch of just stuff in that box, and it's titled For My Biographer. Because God forbid, if I die, I want somebody to search this apartment, find that box, and write a fucking novel. Write a novel about who I was and what I was about. You feel me? And that's stuff that nobody has ever read or ever heard of in my living days. So you'll get a very, very thorough understanding of me when I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? And I want that legacy to be passed on to my children so they can have a thorough understanding of who their pops was. So thank you for your comment. That really touched my heart. But nonetheless, this is Kaizen Cameron Sr. I hope you all enjoyed this post. More to come. Let's see what we can do with Substack. Let's see if we can accomplish the same things we've accomplished with Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Let's see if we can surpass those milestones, right? And make this our new wave. Make this the new wave for social media. Make this the new wave for education. The internet is crazy and it can do a lot of different things. And I'm hoping to accomplish a lot of different things as well. So thank y'all for tuning in. Peace and love. Yeah, Substack is the spot. Love you, Kaizen. Love you. Peace.